And welcome back to the Pioneer Sideline. We are in the midst of our trifecta of Courthouse Case of the Week topics. We just did our first segment, which was NFL Draft with Bob Pompeani. Now we're going to keep Bob around. Welcome in John Bursick and talk a little of puck.
Line
NHL play. Yeah, we're going to do a line change. Very good, very good. That's why you're taking over. You're witty.
It's all up in here.
NHL playoffs, guys. The Penguins in the second round at this point of tape, and we don't know who they're going to play. But it's been a very exciting playoff so far, especially in the East. 2 series finished, and we still have 2 going on. Bob, once again, I'll give you the honor starting with you. You do not know who the Penguins are going to play, but knowing the options of who they could play, how far do you feel they're going to go?
Well, I mean, I think it's up in the air. The East is much better than it was last year when they sort of cruised through it and got to the Stanley Cup Finals. But I think they're probably a little bit better than they were last year, even without Hossa. They got to get some wing production on the top 2 lines. They only had 1 goal in that 6-game series against Philadelphia from a winger on the top 2 lines, and it was Ruslan Fedotenko in game number 6, so that's got to change. But as far as matchups, most likely, if the home teams win these Game 7s tomorrow night, when this is being taped, they're going to have to go to Boston, and that's a tough matchup. Boston's been one of their better teams. There's no question about it. They roll 4 lines at you. I still think Marc-Andre Fleury is better than Tim Thomas. I think Marc-Andre Fleury is better than any goalie in the East right now. So that bodes well. I would prefer.
Does that include Martin Brodeur?
Martin Brodeur, yes. He's not as good as he once was. Okay. So I think Fleury's moved above him. I know you're Mr. Hockey and you just made it. You'll get your chance. Calm down. But I'm saying that I would go. I would love to see Washington actually, because I don't think this Simeon Varlamov or whatever he calls himself these days. I just don't think that he's a young kid who can be frustrated. And I think the Penguins have the kind of players offensively who can frustrate them. I'd love to see that matchup. That's my preference, Pittsburgh and Washington.
I knew I liked to have Bob on the show for some
reason. You're not threatened that Fleury would have to face a very high-octane offense.
No, I think he's shown that he can stop that.
In the first 3 games, where was it?
No, they've outshot the Rangers prolifically. The Rangers stink, and quite frankly, the only way the Rangers are going to win this Game 7 tomorrow, which I don't know when this airs, but I even look real smart or real dumb here based on this pick. But if the Rangers should score a fluky goal first and take a lead, Lundqvist, if he gets the lead, I mean, the pressure, like last year, Washington lost a Game 7 after trailing 3-1. They came back, went to a Game 7 overtime Philly and lost it.
Philadelphia was a better team than New York is, and Washington's a better team than they were last year. So
yes,
totally
I agree with
scenario,
that.
So
but it's still, every game's different.
Lundqvist is due to steal a game, and you're just waiting for it because he's played terrible the past 2, been pulled in both of them. Where's he been? He's King Henrik. Where is he?
He's scared of Alexander the Great. That's what's happened.
Oh, God. I'm done.
Go ahead, John.
Come on, John. Let us hear what you got to say.
All right. Well, I think in terms of who the Penguins should play, Boston really scares me. I'm not going to lie. They're, just like Bob said, they run 4 lines at you. They've got solid defense. Their goaltending's always pretty solid. Because if Tim Thomas goes down, Manny Fernandez can step up. And, arguably as good, maybe a little less good than Tim Thomas, but still, it's somebody that you have to take into consideration when you look at Boston. And in my opinion, I sort of want to play the Devils. I'm not going to lie. I sort of want to play the Devils. I actually was pulling for the Penguins to lose their last game of the season so that we could play the Devils in the first round, because I look at them as obviously a great hockey team, don't get me wrong. But I just think that if you look at, even if you look at the Flyers, I feel like New Jersey's not as solid as Philadelphia was. So I feel like
playing as well as they did early in the season.
No,
I'll grant you that.
No. Yeah, I mean, if you look at the last couple months, when Brodeur came back, he was really good, obviously. But then last couple weeks before the playoffs started, they were really trying.
And those are 2 goalies that I'd like to see, too, in Washington and in New Jersey. I really wouldn't, it's not going to happen. We're not going to see Cam Ward right now. And unless New York wins and Carolina wins, I would not want to see Cam Ward. Don't want to see Tim Thomas.
All right, fellas. Final round, real quick. Best knowledge you have. Stanley Cup final prediction. Which 2 teams are we dealing with?
I say Boston and Detroit. With Boston winning.
That's a good pick. I think Detroit's the best team in the West. Having said that, I think Anaheim may be playing the best. They're surprising San Jose. Vancouver's another team that's kind of lurking, nobody's talking about. But I like Detroit, and I like Pittsburgh in a rematch. And I think this time it'll go in Pittsburgh's way.
I'm going to go with Vancouver. I like Luongo. He's playing very, very good right now. I just haven't, like you said, no one's really talking about him, and I didn't think they were as good as previous years when they had Naslund. But they're playing very, very well. I'm going to have to go with Vancouver, and I'm going to have to go with Boston as well.
All right, very good. We are running out of time.
What do you say?
I say Detroit and Washington.
Oh, here we go.
I'm going to stick
player.
If it's not Washington, I say Boston. All right. We're going to run out of time here. Shut up. We're going to run out of time here. We're going to go ahead